Hey, can I talk to you just for 5 more minutes? You know, this past weekend, we talked about how royal blunders take place in our life. And we all make mistakes. You know, sometimes we miss the mark. That's right. To miss the mark means that you didn't get it right. You made a mistake. Well, in the Greek, the word that is miss the mark, hamartia, actually is translated into English as sin. So the problem we have is we misunderstand sin, and the truth of the matter is this. You can miss the mark and still be a good person. But God says we have to deal with the fact that we've missed the mark, and that's why He sent Jesus. So what we wanted you to really take home from last week was this. Everybody has sinned. So how do you and I show grace to people? Does that mean we ignore it when they sin against us? No. If someone steps on your foot, you're allowed to say, ouch. You're allowed to say, please get off my foot. You're allowed to say, hey man, that really hurts. But you're not allowed to start throwing stones. You're not allowed to take out billboard signs that says, ow, this guy's a real big jerk. You don't need to post it on your, social media feeds. See, we live in a world where everybody says, don't judge me, but yet we all take pictures and judge people and put it out there. A lot of times we do it about strangers. Don't do that. That's wrong. That's what Jesus would say. You and I shouldn't judge other people. What we should do is love them. And so how do we do that? Well, sometimes we have to say to somebody, listen, I love you, man, but please don't treat me that way. That's unkind. Other times we need to receive that acceptance, that love, and we know we were the person that was wrong. And so we have to say, man, I was really wrong, and I want to apologize, and you may not even want to be around me anymore. I get that. Sometimes people don't want to build the relationship back because they've been offended. That's hard. That's painful. But you have to respect that in the middle of all this. See, forgiveness is messy. Grace is not easy. But grace always calls us to say, you're valuable. The reason we looked at the story of this woman that they drug out and treated so shamefully was because she is valuable. You are valuable. You're an image bearer. You're a child of God, whether you believe God exists or not. He says you're His child and He loves you. And so you and I have to treat everyone of all cultures, all backgrounds, as valuable before God. We don't just get to throw stones. Can you imagine how much better the world would be if everybody had that worldview? See, that's the tension you and I feel today. I believe that the gospel message, the good news message of Jesus, has so penetrated our culture, so penetrated our world, that even the world expects you to treat other people with dignity, to treat other people as though they're valuable, to treat other people as significant. That's why we all know human trafficking is wrong. It's wrong to treat people of a different color the wrong way. Everybody has dignity. Well, where does that come from? That comes from the message of Jesus and the gospel of grace. There's no other religious perspective out there that's inviting us to that. Without God, we don't have the power to do that. So how do you do that? You have to say, God, thank you. Thank you for showing me grace as an imperfect person. That's all we said. Pray Psalm 51. Years ago, I was in college. I had someone who sinned against me. I mean, they did me bad. I don't want to go into the details. They basically said I was dirt, and it was within the context of a classroom, and I was just like, really? And God told me, He showed me in my Bible study, in my quiet time, the only way for you to clean this up is for you to pray and to spend some time with me. And I spent 90 days, every day, praying aloud Psalm 51 and forgiving that person for what they did against me. Ultimately, I went and had a meeting with the person and said, hey, how can we work this out? And I still had to pay the price, okay? I still had to make up the difference. But I felt like God helped me do that. You see, the other part of that problem is this. Whenever sin is involved, there's a work that you have to do. You'll have to pay the price in a sin. Jesus paid the price on the cross for the sin that we had. There are going to be people in your life you have to pay the price for in the sin that they commit against you. So that woman that Jesus looked at, he looked her in the eye and says, does anyone condemn you? And she says, no. He said, then go and sin no more. What were the prices she had to pay? She had to find a new way of living. She had to learn to follow God every day and trust him for her value and her importance. Just think about all the things she had to go through. She had to make a whole new set of friends. Yeah. See, when you and I accept God's love and his forgiveness, there's still some work involved. We're not working out the sin part, but we're living in a new way of life, and that's the work for us. And so you're not saving yourself. Jesus has forgiven you, but the work is learning the new patterns, the new way of life, and trusting him for a new way of life. Hey, I hope this was helpful. Thank you for taking 5 more minutes with me. Continue on. Love God and serve him. It's the best way to live your life. I love you.